Well, thank you so much for being on the Be Seen, Be Loved TV show. I'm your host, Christie Lovett. I have a surprise for you today. We have two powerhouse women today on the show. One is Michele Mayer and one is Belanie Dishong. But let me go over their bios first because, like I said, these women are powerhouse. Michele Mayer is a decisive, driven, and committed entrepreneur who helps successful business owners regain control of their time and create financial independence using the decisive mind systematic approach to measure and improve the value of a business. More than that, she is a highly experienced serial entrepreneur who knows how it feels to fail miserably at business. At one time, the bank called demanding their $1.5 million back. Can you imagine that? However, she also knows how it feels to sign a contract to sell her company for $9 million. Michele's business expertise has been highlighted during her speeches at Harvard, NBC, CBS, Fox, Entrepreneur.com, and Forbes. And she is a Stevie Award-winning business consultant and best-selling author and founder of Decisive Minds and Bottom Line Bookkeeping Solutions. So what she does is that she will help you to build a business that thrives without you. I love that. Enabling you to regain control of your life and giving you the ability to decide if and when you want to exit your business. Who wants that? If you want that, make sure that you listen up. Now let's talk about Belanie. Belanie is an amazing woman. I loved her when she was on stage. Belanie is a mindset business strategist. So whoever thought about mindset in regarding your business, that's a huge key. She uses her unique live at choice mindset transformation process to help people create more successful businesses, overcome personal obstacles, and live happier, richer, more powerful lives. Belanie is a dynamic and engaging speaker whose keynotes have been enjoyed at, again, Harvard Business School, PayPal, Kaiser Permanente, Gallup University in Washington, D.C., and on various TV show programs. These ladies are amazing. As a mentor of the Wolf Center of Entrepreneurship at the University of Houston, a TV talk show host, and an international speaker and best-selling author, Belanie is recognized as a change maker and thought leader in her field. Belanie believes that all people can choose to live a happier, richer, and more powerful life, regardless of their circumstances. Hello, ladies.
Hello, Christie.
Hi.
I love starting the show with just asking my guests to share their journey. And you two shared your journey when you were on stage. I met them at a women's conference and they were absolutely amazing. But I was really drawn to their stories because I felt like, wow, they were talking to me. Can you just share one at a time? Michele, I'll definitely start with you. Your story,
Sure.
where you started from. And
Yeah. Thank you, Christie. I'm so excited to be here. My story, I'll try to summarize it because it's a pretty long one. Because, I tell people all the time, I was born into a family that had kids to guarantee they had employees. So we had a grocery store, a mobile home park, a record service, a trucking company. We thought we could make a dime at it. We did it. And that meant that I began this journey of entrepreneurship, from the moment I learned how to walk and could, stand up straight in the grocery store and work. And so it's been very exciting. And, it took me through a journey of seeing the ups and downs, watching my parents and my grandparents, flow through this ever-changing environment of business ownership, the great times, the bad times, and how they responded in those times and what they did. It was the best education I could have ever had. Then upon, going to college, I decided to get an accounting degree because I wanted to understand the numbers. That's how you build a business. When you understand the numbers, you can build any business you want to build. And so I focused on that. And then I came back and spent about 20 years in the trucking industry, which was fun, and built that business to a point where we sold it in 2007. And we also sold the grocery store in the same year, just a fluke that they both happened in that same year. But that led me to retirement in my 40s. And then that realization of, oh my goodness, what's next, right? Who am I? Because I had completely wrapped myself up in these businesses. And after a little discovery of, kind of trying to figure out what I was going to do, I actually decided in 2010 to open a business consulting business to help people do what we did, not necessarily to sell their business, although I love to work with clients who want to sell their business, but to build a business that they love, a business that provides them the income that gives them the lifestyle that they want. And that was something that we did very well as a family in all these family businesses. So 2010 was the start of Decisive Minds. And I'll let Belanie tell her story in a second, because our lives intersected, hers and mine, at the end of 2010, when I actually took one of my very first really courageous steps in this business and went and spoke for the very first time ever at a women's conference. And Belanie was the person who was assigned to take care of the speaker, right? And she really did have to take care of the speaker because I was so nervous. Thank God for Belanie. So, it's been a very exciting ride, and we'll tell you more about what we do together, but I'll let Belanie share who she is and how she got here.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to thank you for that. And yes, I want to hear that story again a second time, because it's so near and dear to my heart. But I also want to thank you for giving me hope that I can still retire in my 40s. So there's still hope out there as well.
That's right.
Before we go to Belanie, I did want to ask you a question. What do you say to those people who weren't fortunate as you are to have a family that taught them the world of business, the ups and downs that you said in business, and how to kind of counteract that and pivot when things don't go your way?
Yeah. So, I was truly blessed to have the experience from a very young age, but we have the experience based on what's going on in our life. So if you don't have the family background, if I look at my family and I go back to my grandfather, he didn't have that background. He had to figure it out as he was going, which is kind of where the majority of entrepreneurs are. Very rarely do we have entrepreneurs who came out of an entrepreneurial family. It does happen, but it's not the norm, right? And so it is to find the group of people who can support you in that. Remember that no one does it alone. Absolutely no business in this. There's no business you can show me that the person did it alone. And so who is that support system? Who's the business coach, the mindset coach? Who's the support for you in it? And not, I will say one of my things about me, I'm very clear about me, is I don't have to know everything. I just need to know where to get the answers.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I never profess to know everything, but I can find it out. I know I can get an answer. And so not having the need to be the one who knows everything in your business, huge, right? Being able to I heard a woman, and actually she owned a networking business, and what she said, I heard this statement. She said, whenever I'm in a room, I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. Right? She wanted the smart people surrounding her, the smart marketing people, the smart sales people, the smart, just all these aspects. And so when we're out there all by ourselves trying to figure it out, how do we surround ourselves with the knowledge and the support? And then we get up every day and we do it. And we fall down and we get back up and we do it. Right? So, yeah.
Well, I love that you found your support system in Belanie, and I saw the synergy that you have. You've been working together for quite a long time, and it's so important to know that you don't have to do it yourself. You can find that perfect person to work with you to really create a business, serve more people on a greater scale. Love that, love that. And hello, Belanie.
Hi, how are you?
Amazing.
Yeah.
As always, I want you to share your story. I want to know your journey and where you came from and how you became where you are now.
Well, I tell you, I have quite a story on how I got where I am now, because I had no idea I would be doing what I'm doing. And by the way, in January, we celebrate our 30th year of Live It Choice. And so it's a very instrumental turning point for us to see where we've come. And where I came in order to even be able to do what we've done at Live It Choice. I was successful in business, but I was not an entrepreneur at the time. And I had done very well. I had a long-lasting career in the mortgage industry and was climbing over all the leaps and bounds and becoming successful. And I was an absolute train wreck in the relationship side of my business. I mean, life became business as well. You know, one of the things about mindset is that it does not, it's not limited to being successful in business. It's success in life. And I oftentimes are, you know, considered to be a life coach, because everything that we do affects all areas of our lives when we deal from the mindset standpoint. So anyway, in 1985, I found myself at the end of my rope. I literally didn't believe that I could even go on one more moment. I was facing a divorce, which was a multiple divorce time frame. My home was in foreclosure. My car had been repossessed. I had no money. I had no job. I had 3 children, and I thought it was time to, I tried to take my own life. We'll just cut to the chase.
Yeah.
And found myself waking on that bathroom floor, and really angry in that moment, because I had failed at that too. And I didn't know how I could possibly move forward. And to even get myself up from that moment on the floor. And the crazy awesomeness was what I heard. And what I heard was, you are the common denominator. And though I knew the word, Christie, I knew what the word meant, but it opened just a whole nother realm of looking deeper in my own life. It was like, okay, tell me something I don't know. And really it was about, I heard listen. Listen. And from there, I made a promise that I would see to it that people, I love your title here, right? Be seen, be loved, but that people could be present to the experience that love is in all areas of their life. And I had no idea what that meant. I had no idea what I was to do with that. I just knew that that was a promise I had on that bathroom floor. 8 years later, I had completely transformed the way I lived my life in every aspect. I'd had a good life, but I transformed all of it. And my best friend at that time says to me, I want you to teach people what you've done. Yeah. And I'm like, huh? What? You're crazy. And I stepped into the crazy, if you will, and have spent 30 years building. I spent about 10 years actually building a platform that supersedes all, in my mind, in the area of mindset and what's really happening, and why we have the mindset we have, why we get stuck in those moments in trying to build a business, why we can't find our way through relationships to be successful and loving in all aspects. And that's what our clients accomplish, is that edge, that it's way beyond the conversation of positive thinking. We're basically pretty much positive people. It's like, what's truly happening, and build the tools. We don't put on band-aids. We build the tools to be able to stand up in that moment of complete and total fear about whether we can even do something, and we do it and we're fearful of the potential of failure, and all that gets completely moved out of the way. And I had the godsend when I met Michele. I have to tell you, it was a godsend. And when you talk, Christie, about seeing us on stage together, you know, when you saw us here not long ago on stage at the Women Driving Business event, people came up to us and said, one, amazed at what you're both doing. Yes. And so important how amazing it was how the two of us, they go, how long did you rehearse that? And we laughed. We've been doing that since 2010. So we've been rehearsing it for years, of being with one another in business and in mindset of business, to be able to give the whole package to an individual, loaded with all the tools possible. And so I told Michele when she first spoke, and I said, if you're going to be my business coach, I'm going to tell you, you have to know what I'm doing. She says, no problem. I'll show up. I'll observe. You don't observe in my events. You go for it, right? And you actually transform your life. So that's the kind of relationship we've built from it. And thousands and thousands of people since 1993, as I say, in 23, we are at 30 years, have transformed their businesses and their lives and their relationships and their financial picture through knowing there is a strategy behind every part of your mindset. So they're in. She's been a godsend to me. And go ahead, Michele.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What I was going to say, I just want to be very clear for everyone that we actually own our own businesses. I own Decisive Minds. She owns Live at Choice. We just run parallel with our clients, because when you are building a business and I can give you the perfect strategies, and I can tell you exactly what to do and how to do it. And when you still bump up against the, well, I know what to do, but why am I not doing it? You bring the mindset in that with you. That's why this works so well when we're working with clients, because they're getting the strategy, but when they just can't pull the trigger on the strategy, there's something in the way, right? And the work that Belanie does that. So we actually partner as separate business owners, and I think that's a huge conversation for people out there. It just kind of like what I was saying earlier, you can't do it alone. Well, also, how do you find those other businesses that you can work with where we're not competitors, but we have the same clients? They need us both. Right. So we don't spend time worrying about, well, if they hire her, they won't hire me. We don't worry about that kind of stuff. And that's extremely important, I think, for people to see. People are always flabbergasted when we say, well, no, we each have our own businesses, and they see us together all the time. Right. So I just thought that was interesting for you.
Yeah. What's really great about that is that we find ourselves as cohesive together to create the end result with the client, period. So literally, I've had people that I've spoken independently on the stage, and over these years, lots of them. And I'll say, you know what? Here's what's true. I can work with your mindset, and I know it's there, but there's a strategy missing for you in your business as well. Let's start you with Michele. Let's start you with the business, get the strategy, and then we'll be able to see where you're not executing and what's holding you back from the execution. And I pull no revenue. She pulls no revenue from my clients. We just hand up, because our number one goal is to help entrepreneurs build a business that becomes successful, that they can choose how it is they want to live their life through that business and for the future of their business.
Awesome. Well, I see you both have the missing link to coaching. A lot of people look for or hire a life coach to help them, fix their life, and their desires may be to have a business, but they don't have that piece. And many people I know hire a business coach, but their mindset stops them along the way. I mean, even when people hire me as a coach, they get stopped. So, and I'm not a life coach, but they need a life coach to help them bust past these barriers that are internal and won't allow them to do the work that it takes to go to the next level or reach their goals and desires. And so I love that.
You can't put a Band-Aid on it, Christie, because what happens is it just flips back around. You're back into another cycle again. Absolutely. I mean, if you don't get to like what's really going on behind the scenes, behind the mindset, right? So there's the mindset, and then what's feeding that mindset, and so that's the luxury that we have in Live at Choice, is that we're able to hone in on what's really taking place behind the scenes.
Right. I love
and just so everyone, go ahead, Christie. I'm sorry.
I was going to tell Belanie, I love her transparency and sharing her story, and that's real. I mean, that is real.
Oh, yeah, it's real.
People think that, she's doing all these great things in the world. They don't see the backstory, and that's why I love my guests to share their story of where they came from, so that people can see that even though you go through trials and tribulations through life, that you can still make it to the top. And with my story as having stage fright, that's the title of my book, From Stage Fright to Superstar. Michele, you were a powerhouse woman, and you experienced that as well. And that's how you two met. Can you share that story a little bit?
Yeah, her day one. Yeah, her day one and my conversion, right? Because I will tell you, one of the things I think that coaches can get in for themselves, and this is mindset as well. And I'm telling a tale on myself. Because the first 10 years of my business, actually it's more than that, but at least the first 10 years, I was the best for-profit broke person you could ever meet, because I thought, well, I have all this is coming through me, the world, it's like comes through me and out to the world, and that's a gift, and I should give it away. I can't ask for money. Well, I had a serious mindset problem on money, my own, right? Because the whole time that I structured and built Live at Choice, I was building it through my own stops. So that's why I'm so real about knowing what happens. And so Michele goes, when I met Michele, she goes, well, I'll tell a little real quick backstory to that. Just before I met Michele, I laid out this whole plan of strategy to take my business to the next level. And this was in 2010. And a coach that I had working with me in my business, he says, how are you going to do that? I said, that's not my job. My job is to create it, to see it, to believe it, and empower it, and the right people will show up. And he goes, okay.
Yeah,
that was on Monday.
Sky, right?
On Friday, I met her. On Friday, I met her. And I was sweating over hiring someone to help me at $400 a month when I met her. And this is way back in 2010. You can't even begin to get her at this price. But she sat at the table and says, okay, I can help you with this. We're going to take this thing to the top. And I'm going, really? How are we going to do that? She says, well, you're going to hire me. And I said, okay, great. I'll hire you. And what is that going to be? And I took a big gulp, and she said, no. It's like $15,000. This was in 2010. And I went, and how am I going to pay for that? She said, you'll pay for it. I said,
And you did.
how's that going to happen? She said, I'm going to give you the strategy, and you're going to bring the mindset, boom, and you're going to do it. And we did. And we did. And we did. And we still do.
I love it.
I don't get her anymore.
Yeah. So what's really, what takes me back to that time is that, like I am, Christie, I am the most extreme introvert on this planet. I mean, like, it is unbelievable. And so starting Decisive Minds, I made a decision. I hired a coach before I started this company. So I had a coach when I started this company, and he's like, you're going to speak and you're going to do this. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not networking, and I'm not speaking. It's flat out what I told him. I'm going to build this business without that. And
I know.
Yeah. And so I will say, guys, after that first 12 months of making absolutely no money, because I wasn't being seen and I wasn't being visible or being loved, like Christie would say, be seen, be loved. And so I get a phone call one day from the director of a networking program in Houston. And she says, Michele, you don't know me, but I've been watching you on social media. I would like for you to come speak at my networking event. And I'll never, so one thing about me is, if I tell you I will do something, I will move heaven and earth to do it. And so I said yes really quickly before I could say no. And so she was so funny. She said, didn't you write a book? Which, God, I wrote the most awful first book in the world. And so she said, come talk about your book. And I did not want to come talk about my book because it was so bad. And so I said, well, did you hear about my second book? And she's like, no. I said, it's called Take Action, Get Profits, 5 Steps to Massive Online Visibility. She's like, great, come talk about that book. And I hung up the phone. I made the appointment for 2 weeks later. I hung up the phone and thought, okay, I got to write that book, because I made it up on the spot. So yeah. See your face. That's exactly what happens when I tell people this story. So I did. I wrote that book in a matter of 2 days, and I couldn't get it printed fast enough to get there. And so I create a little talk around it. I was teaching social media marketing at the time. I remember calling my coach on the way. He's like, you got this, just like it's 20 seconds of courage. I'm telling you, once you get that microphone, you're going to be fine. I was sitting at that table with Belanie, and she's like, what's that noise? It's my knees bouncing up against. I was so nervous. I was shaking. And so Belanie she is awesome. She can just read me. And so she just writes on her little card, you got this. And she pushes it across the table to me. And so I get up and I give my little talk, and I sell a $97 virtual course with a free copy of the digital book, because I couldn't get it printed, and sold, like, I don't know, 30 people in that room that day. Called my coach and said, okay, I can do this. I just made a bunch of money. I can do this. And not knowing that I had just met Belanie, it was going to change my life. So, yeah, guys, I am telling you, I know you're going to ask us at the end what our tips are, but one of them is visibility. It's a requirement. So if
Absolutely.
you aren't visible, someone you hire must be the face, right? It's either you or you hire someone. And for the majority of us, it is us. And when, like I lived there for that year, and then I had to make a choice. Was this going to be a business or was it not going to be a business? And was I willing to do what it took, no matter how scared I am, to be able to get up there and do that? And then guess what? Afterwards, I turn back into that little introvert. I call myself a situational extrovert. So I put myself in the situation. I do what I have to do. Okay. And then I go to the corner and Belanie goes and meets everybody and brings them all to me because she's the extrovert. So it's a fantastic relationship. Whatever it takes, right? So yeah, fun.
I love it. Yes, get visible, resilience, and get yourself out there. Do the work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could be so happy sitting at home looking at this little green dot all day long all by myself and having a great time. But when people see me, they see me extroverted and so excited and so happy. But then I go back to my little home and happy in my little environment. So I totally understand what you're talking about, Michele. Belanie, did you want to add to that? Did you want to give us some tips? Because I love what you say. It's mindset. So many things stop us. And oh, geez, I can't tell you how many times in my life, and I'm sure our listeners' lives, that things stop us along the way, and we need that little push, or some kind of guidance to help.
Yeah.
I remember when I was starting out, I just had to talk to myself and say, hey, this is like you said, Michele, it's 20 seconds of fear, can catapult your business if you just get over that and just do the work anyway. Do it anyway. Get out there, get visible, get on every platform you can, and tell people about what you do. But yes, and you two are definitely doing it.
So one of the tips that I really feel is important is to become your own listener. Because the majority of the mindset issues that are going on it's just a continual stream of thought, and people recognize the big ones, like, you can't do that, what are you doing that for? They recognize that, those, because they're so big and bold. But just pay attention to the small stuff behind it, because every thought that we have is a creation of the next experience. And so how we experience life is coming really from the inside out rather than the outside in. And that's a misnomer that out there is causing it. It's really coming from inside out. So to become your own listener, listening newly, to be present and aware of the thoughts that are actually taking place, because the big ones, they're there, but the little ones behind it are what really feed those bigger, fearful, stopping sounds. So to be able to recognize those thoughts, number one. And number two is to be kind to yourself. Don't say, oh no, I can't think that. I don't want to think that. That's bad. I should do this. Because what that's doing is resisting what's happening. And so a successful mindset is a mindset that doesn't hear those things anymore. The successful mindset is not the one that can just get on top of what's said and reframe it. It's learning to listen and let go, and to be able to eventually have the mindset that is always supporting and encouraging what it is you're to do next. And to understand, one more thing I want to say this, is to understand that our mindset gets activated differently at different phases in time. So as you're building your business, or you're building a relationship, or you're building a family, or whatever it is that's going on for you, as you progress through it, it's like, well, how come I'm stopped here? I mean, after all, look what all I did. I did this was much bigger than this. You're at a different phase. And so certain thoughts and certain mindset beliefs begin to get activated at various times throughout your life. And so, because it's all set in place very young, and it's production, if you will. Like, I've had people say in the past, oh, I got married, and man, those married tapes started playing, right? that chatter around being married and being stuck, and had men say, well, it's like I had to give up all those women in the world, and I say, yeah, like you thought you can have them. But anyway, that's just another funny about them. But the bottom line is allow yourself to hear and to allow yourself to understand that it's a progressional thing, and mindset work to learn, understand, and be kind to yourself along the way is really an ongoing process.
Yes, it
And
is.
it's not good and bad. It's just who we are as human beings.
I love what you said.
Yeah.
An ongoing process. That's something you
Mhm.
work on every single day. I know I do, to eliminate all that chatter, what ifs, and just allow it to.
Let me add something to that, Christy, real quick, if you don't mind.
Mhm,
Because have you ever heard the saying, change a woman, change the world?
mhm,
So when you look at it from an entrepreneurship standpoint, right? When we change an entrepreneur's approach to business, their approach to life in general, from a mindset side, a strategy side, what we see it in our clients. I saw it in my own life, right? Is we see that those things start to change their families,
Yes.
their world around them, everything. So what we learn in experiencing the mindset shift, or understanding the strategies, then all of a sudden, and I can just speak from my own space, is my kids began to pick up on, oh, hey, because I would talk to, but wait, let's look at that newly, right? And my kids begin to kind of see it different, and what I notice is it just spreads out. And so I just wanted to point that out for people, that the benefits of entrepreneurship just so like can engulf the whole world here. And when we take these steps to change ourselves and who we are in our business and our life, it really does just radiate out
right.
into the whole.
Becomes a domino effect, and we're able to serve more people on a greater scale and really
Yeah.
change the world, which is what's needed right now.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love it. I love it. Everything that you two ladies have been talking about and your business and how you are serving on a bigger scale to help people to really transform their lives and their legacy. Can you tell our viewers, where can they find you? Where can they find more about Michele and Belanie?
So for me, you can check out my website, which is decisiveminds.com, MINDS, decisiveminds.com. I'm all about the decisions. So the decisiveness. And there's tons of information there that you guys can find. I work with people who are building their business and want to make more money and want to keep more of their money. And then on the other end, I have my clients come to me because they're like, hey, I think I might want to get it ready to sell. And so that's the other side of what I do with my clients. So how about you, Belanie?
Love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
so I think the best place to go is to liveatchoice.com. That's the name of our company. And there's some freebie packages there. There's some really good stuff called the 12 Rules, and Choose Your Mindset Daily, which is a video program that you can take down as well. It offers a lot. It tells you also how we work with our clients. We're not traditional in that we don't just pick up a client and just start working on mindset. We actually do the training process of what's happening in the mindset in a way that builds upon the creation and development of the mindset strategy to teach them how to have their mindset show up newly. So that's a really great. When I said listening newly, one of the 12 rules that's in that on the website as a gift is also in one of those. Listening newly to yourself is in the 12 rules. So I'd love for you to have that.
Awesome. Awesome. We'll definitely go to their website, get more information about these amazing women, and start transforming your life and your business. You can do it. We believe in you. Thank you so much, Michele and Belanie, for being on the show.
Thank you, Christie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michele.
Thank you for being on the show today. I just want to go over a couple of announcements before we head on over to conversation and a little Q&A. First, I want to give a shout out to Midwave Radio that airs our show in Scotland, the UK, and abroad, as well as on Win Win Women, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and also Apple TV. You can see the recordings there. Now I want to just tell you a little bit about a webinar that I have that you can find on my website, beseenbeloved.com. And if you know me, let me just talk about what I do. I help heart-centered, career-minded women who are overworked, anxious, and feel inferior in the workplace to rise to the next level of success by boldly stepping into their power as a stellar speaker who has found her voice and is able to communicate in a way that generates loads of cash with confidence, clarity, and confidence. So if that's you, you definitely want to tune into this webinar, How to Have It All, Career, Lifestyle, Family without sacrificing your health and happiness. So you can go to my website, beseenbeloved.com, and grab it there, and it's free. So what's next? If you want to move forward and simply book a call with me, you can certainly do that by going to the website below, beseenbeloved.com/powerhouse-strategy-call. And let me just tell you about my Superwoman Speaker Suite, all right? It's a 90-day immersion or coaching program that's gonna help you to end your overwhelm, your chronic exhaustion, anxiety, rejection, drama, and really not feeling heard or seen or understood in the workplace or in your profession, right? And teach you how to really emerge as a powerhouse woman who is deeply fulfilled and who's an amazing leader as well. And so I invite you to book a call with me, see if we're a great fit. I have openings right now for a few of you amazing women who are looking to really take your life to the next level, take your life and your career to the next level as your most amazing and most powerful self. Now, as always, I just want to thank you again for being on the show. And you can always catch me live on Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, and 7 o'clock p.m. in the UK time. And as always, before I go, I just want to send you much love and success. Bye for now.